Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD Starcraft, and I am back for Game 3 between Taeja and SKT Rain. Rain here, the red Protoss player in the top left-hand corner of the map, and of course Taeja, the blue Terran in the bottom right. And I've got to say, Rain has done a pretty good job staying in these games with Taeja. The last game was a 39-minute Protoss versus Terran. And like I said, you don't see too many Protoss versus Terrans exceed 25 minutes nowadays, but Rain going up, into staying into the late game with Taeja and doing a pretty good job. I mean, the only thing I've got to say is maybe, when you get into those late game scenarios as Protoss, you gotta get more expansions. You gotta have that Zerg mentality, because while Protoss are, they are efficient on 2 or 3 bases. They can stay on 2 or 3 bases just fine. In fact, most of the times that's all they need. But if you're playing against a guy like Taeja, who is going to take up the map and have a bunch of bases, I think you got to get more bases. You got to have a Zerg type of mentality. And one of the reasons why I think Taeja won that game is just because he had so much money. He had way more money banked up than Rain ever could hope to have. And so if you want to beat him here, you're going to have to, take more bases if you're going to go into the late game. And we'll see what happens. Now, remember in game 1, what did Rain do? He went for like a proxy Stargate of some sort. And, that's always something that is possible. If Rain were to go for a proxy Stargate this game, that would be really interesting. Or any type of proxy. I always love to watch a little bit of cheese just to spice up my daily Starcraft. And, that's always fun to watch. He is going to be building a pylon actually in the corner of his map here, which is a little peculiar. I wonder if he's going to try to hide a building over there that is going to be out of range of Comsat. Maybe he's just building the pylon in the corner just because. One probe running over to the front door here, going to get into a duel with the SCV. And usually SCVs do win that until the probe runs away and comes back with full shields. So it's always kind of funny. That's the advantage of probes and Protoss, man. Their scouting workers are the most resilient because of the regeneration of shields. And now it's been locked into the main base. How do you like that? You are now locked into the octagon, and this probe is, it's gonna die. Sorry to say, there's no other way around it. Unless somehow, this supply depot wall comes down, that probe is gonna die. And at least Rain gets a little bit of a last laugh here. Says, I'm gonna steal your 5 minerals forever before I die. And it's a little interesting, in campaign mode, you always see like, if a worker, or if something carrying resources dies, it usually drops on the floor and you can pick it up. But in the actual game, that does not occur. Which is interesting, because what if, you do see this sometimes in the very late game, a Terran player drops 1,000,000 mules all over like one of your expansions and steals the money. And even if the mules don't make it all the way back to the Terran side, even if, say, the mules end up dying, that is permanent lossage of minerals, which is something you do see some Terrans do. I mean, they can actually like manor mule you and take away all your money. So yeah, that's always fun to watch. And in fact, this SCV actually took some five or so minerals here from Rain's side as well. So Taeja returning the favor, but he does get a scout off at the same time. Mothership core on the way, expansion up at the front door for both players. Speaking of manor mules, I don't know if you guys ever remembered the manor pylon or heart pylon in the middle of the map. I forgot who did it, but there was one game back in the Brood War days where this Protoss player was kicking so much ass, he decided to build a pylon out of hearts in the middle of the map, and that went down in infamy Starcraft history books. One of the funniest games of all time. I forgot who did it. I don't remember, but if you guys look it up, or someone will post in the comments below, pretty sick. And so anyways, we do have some Marines coming over here, and they are going to bypass the guard. The Sentinel at the front door has been bypassed. That's what the next Protoss unit is going to be called in Legacy of the Void. It's going to be called the Sentinel. Yeah, that's a good name for a Protoss unit, isn't it? I think that's also a unit for the Night Elves, the Sentinel. I'm not sure though. I don't play Warcraft enough to know. Speaking of which, these Marines do die. Their blood will now splatter on the floor, and Rain is gonna be able to stave his probes from death. Actually, he lost 3 probes right there, so I mean, a little bit of a nice harass, I guess, by Taeja. But Rain is going to come over here with a couple of stalkers. Look to return the favor. Although there is a bunker up. And usually bunkers mean no trespassing. So Taeja yep, has the bunker up. And that's going to play safe. He has a couple of NG bays coming up as well. Rushing the upgrades for his Marines. And factory also on the way. Got 3 barracks back at home. Pumping out Stimpak. And you know, this is Taeja, classic Taeja. He doesn't need to cheese. He doesn't need to do anything differently. He just needs to survive the early game, get into the mid game, and then he wins. You know, if you ever see a game where Taeja is playing against an opponent and it's 15 minutes or more, and you're going to bet money on who's going to win, it's a pretty good bet Taeja will. So, so far in the first 2 games of this set, that's how the game has kind of gone down. And Rain is not going to try to end it early on. He's going to try to play another late game with Taeja, as is indicated by the early robotics, but he wants to tech up quickly, get his upgrades. This time, one thing he's doing nicely, I must say, is he's getting +1/+1 really quickly, so he is not going to fall behind in upgrades. And we will see if he can actually take out Taeja in a late game PvT. I don't think I've seen that happen in a really long time, so we'll see, man. This time he's doing it right, though. He's not doing any early harass. He is pumping upgrades, pumping Colossus, and one thing I'd like to see him do right now is get a 3rd expansion down. Get a 3rd down before it's too late. In fact, Taeja's already got a 3rd down. And we'll see. Will Rain go for another expansion pretty soon here? It looks like he's going to try to destroy these rocks first. And that's, you know, probably a good idea. Get rid of those rocks and then get the Nexus over there. And meanwhile, Taeja is going to lift off and get the starport under reactor control. So medevacs are going to be coming out pretty soon. And the beauty about Taeja's strategy here is he's got a timing window to attack with. As you know, all Terran players do. When they finish combat shields +1/+1 stim, or even just +1, they don't even need 1 armor, they can launch a really powerful timing attack that Protoss can have a very difficult time defending. And actually, Rain here sneaks a probe over to this corner now. He's got the ability to warp down to the low ground, I believe. He should be able to warp some units right here. And I think he's going to try to do a little bit of a backside to stab attack here. And yeah, there we go. He's going to be able to warp a couple of zealots now. You know, will he be able to actually get any damage done? Those meals are about to expire anyway, so killing off these meals isn't going to really be helpful. Unfortunately for Rain. He's going to go for the 2nd meal. No, now he's going to be forced to go on the bunker. And yeah, that attack did not pay off at all. You know, killing off a meal that was about to die doesn't help. And losing 2 zealots right there costs just a little bit for Rain. And you can see here, 112 supply to 93. Taeja once again, just like he's got such a good mid to late game. It's almost impervious to any cheese. It's impervious to any attacks. And if Taeja can get up to 3 bases, you are in deep trouble. And now what in the hell is Rain going to do? He's down by about 10 supply. He's got a serious hill to climb here. He's going to try to get ground weapons level 2, ground armor level 2. You will have these upgrades coming just a little bit sooner than his opponent. He's got good observer coverage in the middle of the map as well. But, and he's got good tech. But I fear for Rain, if he does not end this game soon, if he tries to take it to the late game, I think Taeja is just going to have too big of an edge. And here we go. Those medevacs are loading up. The Marines and Marauders, they're flying over to the north, using their afterburner technology. And will Taeja go for the drop here? Yes, he will. An observer is going to see those 2 medevacs coming in, though. And Taeja needs to be careful here. He doesn't know that there's an observer there. I guess he's going to actually fly right in the main base. And Rain here has a Colossus there in position. Very nice use of his observer at the north corner. And this is why, you know, on this map, Akalon Waste is so important to have an observer basically around this area where my screen is centered, because you need to see where those drops are coming from. Also nice to have another observer right here in this bottom corner, so you can see if drops are coming over to this expansion or this expansion. And so Rain doing a good job there preventing possible losses to his forces. And look at this, we have some Vikings flying out down to the bottom. I guess checking to see if there's any obs or anything like that. But yeah, I do think that right now Rain is in some trouble because he's trying to go into the late game against Taeja and he's down in supply. He got the third base up and running, but he got it a little bit later than Taeja did. I would say right now is a good time to try to rush a fourth expansion. But we'll see what happens. It looks like we have another pylon trying to go up over here. It is going to get sniffed out. Both pylons are actually going to get sniffed out. And they are going to get taken out by this Terran army. So there's one pylon going down. This one is going to get picked off as well. Taeja does not want to have any backside pylons near his expansions. He wants to make sure his entire side of the map is under Terran control, not under Protoss control. And so he's going to take out this pylon, although a couple of zealots here coming up to save it. And I guess Rain gonna be able to have one forward position, but in the meantime, a big attack coming in here as Taeja attacks through the front door. A bunch of force fields coming down to keep Rain alive, and Rain here is going to need more forces than this. He's going to need more Colossus. He's going to need his Templar to have Storm. Storm is about to finish up in about 15 seconds. If he can get Storm ready to go, then he's going to be in a pretty good position to be able to deal with this Terran army, and it looks like Storm is going to finish up just in the nick of time. Oh my god, that was critical. And here comes Taeja once again. Will he get the Storms down? It looks like his EMP, his army got EMP'd. He does not have energy to Storm, and absolutely brutal here as Taeja's going to come up, and he's going to be able to take out the Protoss army. Both Colossi going down. One Templar still has enough energy for Storm, and that Storm coming out at the last second. Now an Archon coming out. The Colossus actually lasering down units from the high ground. Vikings landing on the ground and are destroyed by that Colossus, and unfortunately that Archon was not able to come out and assist. But I've got to say that one last Templar with just enough energy for a Psionic Storm was what saved the day there for Rain. If he did not have that Templar with energy to Storm, he would have lost that battle and potentially lost his expansion. But because of that one final Templar, I think he was able to save his expansion there. And now I guess both players kind of trading off pretty evenly there, because when you look at the supply, once again Taeja still ahead by about 10 or 15 supply here, and the units lost showing it's a pretty close game as well. But I still got to give the edge to Taeja. He's now rounding out three upgrades. 3 weapons are about to finish up, but actually Rain has finished his 3-3 considerably long ago, and that was probably another reason why Rain was able to hold his own there. Despite having a smaller army, he had +3/+3. So that's one thing going well here for the Protoss. He's got to be careful. He's going to be able to snipe out a Viking. That's always nice. Keep the Viking count low, and your Colossus are going to thank you for it. So a great pick off right there. It looks like he might be forced to battle here. That's Templar. Does get a Storm down, but really wasted right there. And I'm surprised that Rain did not travel with the Templar. Travel with your slowest unit and keep them alive. Now he's going to be forced to battle without any Psionic Storm or feedback, although he does have 3 massive Archons in the front of his army, and those Archons, if they get in melee range, they can rip through the Terran bio, although most of them they're getting picked off very quickly because of EMP Shockwave. Time Warp Field comes down. His Colossus are going to work, but Meal's getting dropped off, and I think Rain knows he's out of this game, and basically mana mealing is Taeja as he realizes that he's got the victory here. And GG, I think, is going to be called momentarily. Absolutely beautiful game by Taeja. You know, just textbook Terran versus Protoss. And here comes more mana mules. Why not? You can actually use them to repair your medevacs and Vikings, so it's not necessary to like PM or anything. And it's something that players just do nowadays because it's fun. There you have it. GG calls Rain. Taeja is victorious. Hope you guys enjoyed. Got a couple more sets I want to do for you guys. And actually, on Monday this week, I will be leaving for the East Coast for about a week. So I'll be taking a break from casting. But I do have another set I'll be doing before then. So for now, this is HD, and I am signing out.